Hello, welcome again to Racecraft. Yeah, I can hear you all moaning out there. Another Sigma. And yes, it is another V8 Sigma conversion. The difference is, this is my own car. And because it's my own car, I've spent a little bit more money. So what's going in it is this little 347 stroker. Fuel injected, it's got a little crane cam in it, nothing too big. It's got a nice set of AFR 185 Renegade heads and an Eagle stroker kit. So it won't make a ton of power, but it'll certainly motivate this old girl pretty well. So we're just about to drop the motor out of this. We've got some stands underneath the motor. We're going to lift her up, get rid of that. The motor's already sold, and we'll start fitting it up.
Motor and gearbox is out. It's gone. It's actually been sold. So someone's got a good deal with a 41,000k old motor and gearbox, but I didn't need it. It's gone. So the next thing now will be to take the bonnet off, take all the front off, put the new radiator support panel in, and we can start slipping the V8 into it. I've already done the big brake conversion on this. It's got the VY Commodore rotors and calipers, front and rear. I did that a few years ago when I first bought the car. It was one of the first things I did. So the next thing will be put the big diff in it. I've already built the big Borg-Warner diff for it, 28 spline limited slip. So next thing will be to slip that in. So this is the little Borg-Warner diff that we've taken out of the car. This will be a donor for another big Borg-Warner conversion. So I'll cut the center out, save the axle tubes, and build one of these. This is the big Borg-Warner. It's actually, sorry, I keep calling it a Borg-Warner. Technically, it's not a Borg-Warner. It's actually a BTR 78. So it's actually made by BTR. 78 stands for 7.8 crown wheel, and it's limited slip. Axles are done. I've resplined the Ford axles. They're ready to go in. The handbrake, because all of the axle tubes and everything is original, all this handbrake mechanism will just bolt straight back on like original. So that's a good little side benefit of building a diff like this. All right, we've moved along a little bit on our project car here. We cut the radiator support panel out. Yes, this isn't the one out of this car, but that's what it normally looks like. I've been through this before about cutting this panel out and putting a new one in. Yes, you can do it. It's on the other video. It's perfectly legal to do. If your engineer says you can't, I guess he just hasn't read the rules properly, but it's all in there in VSB 14. So we won't bother labouring the point there any further. So radiator support panels in, the bars in there for the radius rod brackets. We cut the bar out of the top here. So we've made a new one out of 25 by 25 RHS, and that's a bolt-in job now. And then this one goes over the top, also bolts in over the top of the other one. And the two bolt holes here is where the bonnet catch goes in. So we've still got to make some bracketry down there to help support it and so forth, and leave a little bit of room in here for the air conditioning condenser. But we're moving along. The only thing we're waiting on now is our gearbox to come back. We can bolt that to the motor. The motor's all set to go. Do a trial fit in there, and that'll be one more step done. We're at that point now doing the fuel system. So I've got my swirl pot mounted in there. I've got the lift pump attached to it and so forth. But what's happened is this is the swirl pot I normally use. Even had it anodized black. Got the bracket there to hold it up, but it doesn't fit. The difference, the last three cars I've done have all been Scorpions, and of course they don't have this handbrake cable running across the back of the diff. So all of this has come closer to the swirl pot, and there's just no way in the world the swirl pot's going up inside there. So I've had to make another one. So I've gone from 100mm round diameter to 100 by 75. So that's given me an extra 25mm. So it's close to the handbrake cables, but it all does fit. So once I'm happy with all the fitment and everything in there, I've still got to make one more little support bracket to make it really firm. I'll send it up to John at Specialised Anodising Services and get him to anodise it black for me, and then we can bolt it up for the last time. The next step is a tail shaft for this car. This is an aluminium Falcon, like EB right through to AU Falcon. There's not many people that will shorten these aluminium shafts for you. So that's the normal length of a EA EB Falcon, and that's about the length I need. So what I've done is I've put the shaft in the lathe. I've parted it off on the end. It's all dead square, and I've also machined the yoke out of the original shaft, so that'll just go straight into there. So this shaft is about half done. The problem that I have is that even though I've got the yoke out, I can put it in there, I can do the universal phasing, I can even weld it in, I can't balance it. So I've rung a local tail shaft shop, which is Farrow's Driveline Services at Nambour, and they said, yep, no problem at all, just drop it in, we'll weld it for you, balance it and everything. So I was really pleased to get such good service. They were just, nothing's a problem. So I'll shoot that over to them next week, get them to weld it in, balance, and we've got a tail shaft. I'm doing the radiator now. This is an old radiator, but it's good to have a dummy one that you don't have to be so precious with. And in the past, I've used a Subaru hose as a top hose, but I've actually found one that fits even better. So you can see that is just a perfect fit to the radiator. And as it turns out, it's a Ford hose. It's actually a upper radiator hose, Ford Falcon EB 4 litre inline 6, it says on here. And the part number's CH1771C. So if you're looking for a hose, that's your perfect fit hose on there. Fairly cheap. I think I paid $30 for that from Super Cheap. So not expensive at all. So the next thing will be to mount the thermo fans on. I haven't got the thermo fans yet because I found some 160 watt fans. The ones I've got here are only 90 watts. So I'd like to put the biggest fans I can on there. I tried to mount the Maradyne fans that I bought, but for some reason Maradyne's put weird fittings onto their thermo fans, which makes them excessively difficult to mount. So I've put those back on the shelf, and I'm going to run with the fans from Roadstar. So once I get the fans, I'll show you how I'm going to mount those up. So that's about it for part one of the Sigma build. When we come back, we'll be doing the thermo fans, put the power steer lines on, and extractors. I'm waiting for extractors to arrive as well. So I've just bought some eBay extractors. They take a little bit of modifying, but they fit really well into these Sigmas. But I'll show you that in the next episode.